Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an update on the situation regarding China and the Trump tweets from Friday, which progressed into the afternoon and evening, a giant crypto liquidation event, a massive scare, and people now wondering, well, is it insider trading? You've got Trump coming out saying, hey guys, don't worry about it. Don't worry about China. It will all be fine with an exclamation point. That's what Trump says earlier today via Truth Social. Highly respected President Xi just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. The USA wants to help China not hurt it. President Donald Trump, and people are now saying, it's being reported, it was a misunderstanding. Okay. Okay. We know how that looks. But they're like, it was a misunderstanding. No, 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 no. Don't worry. Trump thought it was something else. I mean, because there were people saying and reporting that, oh, it's this huge problem where now China is exuding this crazy amount of control over their exports and specifically the rare earth minerals. We know how important that is for the United States, specifically the refinement of them. It's about 90% of the refinement goes through China. And so it causes this crazy scare. And so now people are looking on chain, and you can see, shout out to this guy for opening a $330 million short position on Ethereum minutes before Trump announced more tariffs on China. And then you want to talk about more tariffs on China. A day and a half later, Trump tweets out, don't worry about China. It will all be fine. So what's really going on here? Well, we really can't prove anything. People are like, oh, it's insider trading within the administration. Well, go ahead, try and prove that. This potentially is just Trump misreading something or China playing hardball, and maybe there being some type of renegotiation. Remember, it's important to understand that the United States and China never fully agreed on a trade deal. There was a framework for a deal. Trump said several times back in May that there was an agreement, but it wasn't an agreement. They were just delaying it till a later date and putting off the tariffs because it was a massive 150% tariff. Now Trump says 2 days ago, well, it's going to be 100% tariff back on China because it had come back down to a 30% tariff because they had agreed to a framework of a trade deal and they were trying to work out the trade deal. But then Trump a few days ago says, well, China's really ramping it up. We got to do this. And I remember seeing that on Friday morning and really not making anything of it. But evidently, because of this leverage trading and the margin trading and all of it, and a lot of people have playing very aggressively when it comes to the markets, and also some whales here seemingly making a ton of money off of it. You've got people wondering what's the real deal with this. And then 2 days after Trump says we're going to slap 100% tariff on China, he says, guys, it will all be fine. And he has high respect for Xi Jinping. So, yeah, I don't think this is really. And by the way, Vance is going out there today. He does these Sunday interviews, the vice president, and he's saying it's all going to be all right. It's, Trump. I was talking to him yesterday. It's going to be fine. And so it's like, well, crisis averted. Was there even a crisis to begin with? Were the reports of China exuding all of this control over the rare earth mineral export? Was any of that real? What's going on with this? They're saying it was a misinterpretation between Trump and the Chinese. Where does this stand in terms of the 100% tariff on China? That threat? So, there's a lot of stuff up in the air right now. I had said in the video yesterday that I thought it would have been very, I don't know the situation with China. I don't know how much hardball they're playing. And if Trump is really trying to renegotiate this trade deal and maybe China prior to the negotiation or the close of the deal is trying to get better leverage by exuding some type of control over certain things like the rare earth minerals, because that's an area in which the U.S. is exposed to, in which China has leverage over the U.S. Of course, the United States has, you would figure, although it is all relative. I mean, how badly do we need rare earth mineral refinement? Well, pretty badly for a lot of products in terms of electronics, but they also need the U.S. markets. And if they didn't have access to the U.S. markets, China and their manufacturing prowess would be significantly hurt and wounded to a degree that would impact their economy heavily. So it's kind of like a tit for tat. We need the rare earth refinement. and they need access to our economy. So, but I mean, both sides, you know, it makes sense that there wouldn't be a massively long trade war, which there wasn't. It lasted a month and a half, whatever it was. And then there was a deal that brought the tariffs back down. And I had said, well, based off of where we're at in terms of a year away or a little bit more than a year away from the midterms, the fact that we are really entering a bullish time in cryptocurrency when it comes to just the stock market in general with everything at record highs. I just saw a little preview for 60 Minutes. They're like, well, it's a bubble because that's what they say about everything when something goes up. But things are looking really good in terms of the market. And would you really want to wound that to a significant degree over whatever this is? This thing just, it kind of just came up out of nowhere. And then it's like, well, is there even anything here? Or was this just some type of insider trading? And I mean, because I mean, when you put out tweets like this, I mean, like, what is this? You got to put out a tweet and say, don't worry about China. It will all be fine. You know, like, it's almost like he was surprised by the reaction on Friday. Like, he was like, oh, the humans are overreacting. I've got to put out this tweet saying not to worry about China now. Like, that's what it kind of reads like. But, yeah. So will there be 100% tariff on China? I highly doubt it. It was threatened to start on November 1st. There might have to be some type of negotiation to officially have a trade deal with China. But even that, it's like they've held off on it and they just continue to delay and extend the period in which this 30% tariff is on China. Because remember, it would be 150%, but they said, well, we're going to work out a deal with them, so we're bringing it down to 30%, and they're bringing ours down to 10%. And so this is when we're supposedly working out this deal. And now China, you know, apparently is I mean, you really have to wonder with some of this stuff. I mean, you're going to say that on Friday there's going to be 100% tariff on China, and then on Sunday you're going to say that everything's fine and that China just had a bad moment. Oh, man. Well, listen, I think we're still in a very bullish time, and the most hated V-shaped 2.0 is coming up. I mean, look, I was looking at the futures. The futures are all up. Not significantly, but yeah, this is like some blip in the, looks like some blip in the radar. Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ 100, gold and silver, boomers excited, platinum, boomers delighted. But crude oil, yeah, I was looking at the gas prices. No wonder gas is so cheap. Crude oil is down under $60. Remember when crude oil was at like $74 when it spiked up during the Iran situation, or it was maybe at $84, but $59 a barrel. Oh, that's amazing. Imagine getting that next year at this time. Whew. Because that's a good economic situation when you've got gas in my area at $2.78, which is what it was today when I got it. So, yeah, that's basically it. I mean, you've got Vance going out and saying nothing's wrong, everything's fine. Now you've got Trump saying President Xi just had a bad moment. Everything's fine. And so people are going to take this, they're going to say, well, there's some type of, there's some type of insider trading. I mean, you put out a tweet like this. I mean, what is the, I mean, especially after what happened on Friday. But I thought it was an overreaction on Friday. I mean, people have to understand this is how Trump operates in terms of negotiations. But I also heard it was some type of misinterpretation is what they're calling it. They're calling it a on Friday. Trump misinterpreted what the Chinese wanted to do with, I guess, how much they were going to tax or control the exports coming out of the country. Because we can mine all the rare earths, but they have to be shipped to China to be refined, and then they get shipped back to the United States in the form of smartphones, things of that nature. And so, it is what it is. But to me, it looks like it was just a big snafu, and I don't think there's going to be 100% tariff on China. And, I would expect the markets to recover. You would imagine, based off of what's happened, based off of the fact we're getting 2 more rate cuts this year, you would imagine crypto would also recover. So Trump's like, it's just a joke. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's something, isn't it? But, yeah, I don't think, I mean, you have to really love where we're at right now. Looking at that crude oil, that's insane. Under $60 a barrel. So again, imagine we had it even at six, because I like the sweet spot, like $60-$65 is fine. You get really low prices normally across the country with that relative to what people have expected, the past 5 or 6 years, especially going into the Russia-Ukraine war. That's going to be a good situation for the economy. That's going to be a good situation for the amount of disposable income people have. And then on top of that, we are looking at possibly maybe some more money, some more disposable income for people via those rebates based off of the tariff revenue, if that's something that Trump wants to do. It would be for people that probably make less than 100K or something along those lines. And I am not a big fan of that. I don't think that's a good idea, because I don't think that's what tariffs should be for. But you can understand Trump wants to show the voters the impact that tariffs can have in terms of the revenue, and a way to do that would be through the rebates to low income individuals. So that's just the status on this. This seems like some type of snafu here that maybe was a bit of a misunderstanding or something, but there's going to be a lot of people speculating with the amount of money that was made off of shorting cryptocurrency in the stock market. And people are wondering about that. But either way, I don't think there's going to be 100% tariff onto China November 1st. But we have seen Trump do this in the past, where he'll use a certain threat as a negotiating leverage as he potentially enters negotiations with China, maybe closing a massive trade deal, because as far as I understand it, that trade deal is still not closed. So you can understand there's still being some threats in terms of trying to gain leverage in a negotiating setting. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you like the video down below. Also follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.